Hey yo, this your man Saber from the label, and when I ain't tearing down tracks, I'm chilling with my boys Riz and Russ from the Riz and Russ Experience, and you already know, this is what I do!
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Russ from the Riz and Russ Experience. And first and foremost, I would like to wish you guys a happy new year and a blessed 2008. Myself and Riz would like to thank you guys that have supported us so far with the YouTube and SoundCloud page. It's really, really appreciated. And we're just hoping to make this thing even bigger and better going into the new year. So once again, I want to thank you guys. But I'm here today, and I know it's been a while since I've been on. I just had some things going on, but Riz held it down fantastically, as usual. But I'm here today to talk about me, Russ, being in an abusive relationship. And you're probably out there thinking, well, Russ, if you're in an abusive relationship, you probably need to get out of that. That's probably not a healthy thing to do. And I would say to that, you're correct. Now, I don't know if it's affecting my health, but it's kind of affecting my sanity. And the abusive relationship is not what you might think. It's not necessarily with a woman. It's with a sports team. And this sports team is the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears are awful. And they've been awful for most of my life. Now, let's bring this back to the beginning. My dad's from Illinois, outside the Chicago area. He's been a Bears fan his whole life. I live in Wisconsin, so the two teams near me, NFL wise, are the Bears and the Packers. Now, when I was younger, I used to root for the Packers. I think I just did it against just to go against my dad. But then I started to realize how annoying Packer fans are. And I just started to like the Bears more. And that probably started to happen, I'd say, 3rd or 4th grade. So basically since 1992 or 1993 on, I've been a supporter of the Chicago Bears. And during that tenure, we're talking about more than 20 plus years, they really haven't given me too much to cheer for. They haven't. I mean, they've been to the playoffs, I believe, during that time. They were in 1994, 2001, 2005, 2006, and 2010. That's not a lot. So basically, I spent my middle school to high school years with them being basically shitty. They had that one magical year in my freshman year in college. Then they went back being shitty during the majority of my college years. And then they with Lovie Smith, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Charles Tillman, the whole cast and crew. You know, they had 2 consecutive playoff appearances and a Super Bowl appearance in 2006. So they got to the Super Bowl right when I transitioned out of college and into being a young adult. So yeah, they got to the Super Bowl that year after I graduated. So, and then after that, they went 4 years without making the playoffs, and then they went 2010, and then they haven't been back since. And I'm 36 now. They haven't done anything in my 30s. I'm sorry, I'm 35. I'm turning 36 in 3 months. But they haven't done anything in my 30s. That sucks. That just completely sucks. And there's just a lot of missteps with this organization, and I've come to the conclusion that it's just like a curse. There's like a rot there. It's like a stench, you know. It's like if you got something living in your house that died, and it just is going through the whole house. That's like the Bears. There's just some disgusting stench there, where they can never get anything right. And I used to always think, well, if they got this particular general manager, or if they got this particular coach, or if they got this particular quarterback, nothing's changed. You know, I remember when they drafted for Jay Cutler, I was so happy. But then Jay Cutler, you know, I will say this: I overrated him. He didn't get better like I thought he would. He still would do the same silly stuff, poor ball protection. Throwing interceptions at the wrong time. You know, that shit never ever got better. But he was also dealt a bad hand the day he got traded. He got a shitty offensive line. He had shitty offensive coordinators. He had shitty wide receivers for the first, I'd say, about, 3-4 years? Yeah, about 3 or 4 years. on the team until he got some legit wide receivers. But then when that happened, the defense fell off. Or there was just some crazy injury. Just nothing ever comes together for this team. And Jay's reputation is in the hole. When they lost in the championship game in 2010 to the Packers, where he got hurt, where he messed up his knee, people said he quit, which wasn't true. And then his reputation was basically in the hole from that point on. And I've said this to my father, I've said this to my uncle, I've said this to other people. Jay might have only been, because I don't think he would have won a Super Bowl anywhere. He had his deficiencies just would have always got the better of him. But his reputation is in the hole strictly because he played for the Chicago Bears. He would have been an average quarterback somewhere else, and that's all people would say. They would say he's just a guy that didn't live up to expectations. But people hate Jay Cutler. And his reputation's in the hole, and I only believe his reputation would be in the hole like that because he played for the Bears. That would not happen anywhere else. I believe that. It's just something about the Bears. They don't know how to... they have a history of great defenses, but they don't know how to do anything with offense. They just don't. It's mind-boggling how inept they are at offense. Now, moving on to right now, they just got done firing John Fox. Fox, I don't think Fox is a bad football coach, but I just think his ways of football is kind of like the time's passed him by, and it's just not going to work. And he wants to run the ball, play defense, keeps things close, all those things that he tried to do. But when games where he actually needed that to happen, they never worked. Him developing a new quarterback, so they have Mitchell Trubisky right now, that's not going to work. Plus, they had a crazy rash of injuries the past 3 years that is wild to me that they need to look into. They fired him I believe they fired him yesterday, so they're looking for a new coach now. And we're in the same spot. It's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm beaten down here, and maybe it's my loyalty. It is my loyalty because, to be honest, there's really no reason why I should be a fan of this team. The funny thing is that when I went down to New Orleans back in October when the Saints played the Bears, and it was a fun atmosphere. They lost the game. But, my cousin jokingly said, you should be a Saints fan. You got Louisiana in your blood. Why don't you be a Saints fan? I was like, I don't root against them, but I'm a Bears fan. But I'm stewing on that. I'm stewing on that right now because, you know what, he might be right. Because there's really no reason for me to be a fan of this team anymore because they're not going to get any better. Now, you could say, hey, Russ, you guys got some young players. You got Mitchell Trubisky. What do you think of him? I think Mitch is okay. He showed some signs this year. And then he showed some decent signs. He also showed some rookie things too, as expected. He also didn't have absolutely anybody to throw to. The Bears by far have the worst wide receiving core. And if you're not a fan of the team, I challenge you to name two wide receivers on that team without having to Google it. That's how bad that they are. But I think Mitch is okay. But the problem is that he could go either way. He could be a good quarterback or he could be a bust. And that's how the Bears, and that's strictly on the Bears, and that's going to depend on them making him better, which they have never done. They need to get the offensive line fixed. I don't know if they're going to do that. You need to get better wide receivers. I'm sure they're going to do that, but are they going to be the right ones? There's always something missing there. Always. When they've got something good, then there's something leaky there. Like even when we went to the Super Bowl in 2006, we had a fantastic defense. What did we not have? We did not have a good quarterback. Rex Grossman was just an accident waiting to happen. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith, who says that about the Dallas Cowboys. But that's what he was. And I supported it because he was the best quarterback on the roster at the time. I was praying he didn't screw it up, but I knew they weren't going to win the Super Bowl because he wasn't good enough to make plays at the time. And in 2010 when they were last in the playoffs, defense was good. Jay, he was okay, but the offensive line was shitty, and he didn't have any wide receivers, and that all came back to bite him in the ass. And there's always something that bites them in the ass at the end, and it's something that I wish they were more proactive of fixing. Now, every team loses, I get that, but it's just always something like awful that takes them down. Something that makes you mad. Like teams lose, But they went down fighting and they had a good roster. They just didn't get that. They just didn't get the job done on that particular day. It's never like that with the Bears. It's just something that just nags at you though, and it's painful. And this is, as I said a few minutes ago, this is now the 7th straight year I don't get to see my team in the playoffs. It sucks. It completely sucks. You could take a look at the Patriots. They're in the playoffs every fucking year. Every fucking year. My whole football life, Bears have been in the playoffs twice. Twice, 2 years in a row. Other than that, big gaps of their playoff appearances for them. It's horrible. My partner Riz, he's got his team in the, and I'm sure if he does a show about the Eagles, I've heard him say a lot of things about the Eagles. He could probably give you some similar opinions on what he thinks about Philly. It's the Bears and the Eagles. It's some similarities, but there's more differences though. But neither one of our teams have won a Super Bowl in our lifetimes. Now you could say, well, I know the Eagles haven't won a Super Bowl. Well, the Bears won one. They won one in 85. I was fucking 3 years old. I don't count that at all. I didn't know shit about football. It does not count at all. You know what? Real quick, if any of you motherfuckers take credit for Super Bowls when you weren't watching football, you're fucking ridiculous. That is sad. That's like Cowboys fans, Steelers fans. If you wasn't, excuse me right there. If you wasn't a football fan at that time, forget about it. Just forget about it. You're being ridiculous. So you can only claim Super Bowls when you were actually football fans. Anyway, yeah, neither one of our teams have seen a Super Bowl in our lifetime, and it sucks. And as we're getting older, we become resigned to the fate that it might not happen, and that's the most frustrating part, that we might not get a chance to see our teams win a Super Bowl. Now Riz has his team there, even though they got a backup quarterback, and I'm going to talk about the NFL playoffs in another post coming up soon. But hey, at least his team's in there. They got a fighting chance. Even with the quarterback situation, they still got a fighting chance, and that's all you can ask, though. But to wrap this all up, guys, I'm a frustrated, hurt Bears fan. I feel like I'm getting abused. I feel like I should go away, but I can't because my loyalty is just too much. Maybe it's the Taurus in me. I don't know. But hey, leave in the comment section. Should I stay or should I go? Because I probably should go. The same person will probably say I should go, but I'm probably not. I'm just gonna ride this one out and pray before God says it's my time that they win a Super Bowl. So pray for me, guys. Even if you're not a fan of the team, you don't care about the Bears, even if you hate them, if you care about me, just pray for me. Hope things get better. That's all I ask. But I'm going to wrap this up, guys. This is the first post by me in 2018, so there will be a lot more. It's going to be a lot of bigger and better things for the Riz and Russ experience. So just keep supporting, keep checking the SoundCloud and YouTube page. So I'm gonna get up out of here, guys. You guys have a fantastic rest of the day. Anybody in the Midwest or in the East Coast, stay warm. Anyone in the South, you go to hell because you're not suffering like us. So, but anyway, you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. I will see you guys soon. Peace out.